come on, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're legit. You can't tell me they aren't. This is a team that's looking like they really could be someone who could make the Western Conference Finals or even the NBA Finals, and they could win it. I know they don't have a true story. I know they're young, but what they're doing here, first off, Chet's the runaway rookie of the year. You got yourself as well as the runaway MVP and Shea, arguably. I know Luka's making a case. But this Thunder squad, how do you stop them? How do you stop them? And since they got themselves Gordon Hayward, I think the Gordon Hayward addition has been fantastic for them. In terms, obviously, Gordon has only played 3 games, 13 minutes a night. He's shot 25% from the field and has absolutely done nothing. All right, but what I mean fantastic in the sense that they basically discarded money and turned him into a veteran, like a good veteran, a guy who's a former all-star. Now, if he can actually make an impact, like he's had one decent game, and that was against the Wizards, where, I mean, it was basically against the Wizards, and he had a couple shots, had a few rebounds. Clearly, he's going to be a guy who's playing like 12 to 15 minutes a night, but it's having a nice veteran off the bench that is something that they didn't have before in terms of like an actual veteran who could play basketball for them. But the real story is J-Dub. J-Dub's like a legit. I know I don't believe in giving second-year players most improved votes or an award because you're expected to improve as a second-year player. But J-Dub is the guy who's breaking the mold. I mean, if Cody Williams is a good basketball player and it's a very weak draft class, but the fact that he's very similar to his brother in terms of physical profile and kind of somewhat of similar demeanor, obviously J-Dub's way better, is why people are like, oh my God, this kid's the best player in college basketball. You got a 31 point per game scorer in freaking Shea. J-Dub is putting up 19. Chet's putting up like 17 and like 8 with like 3 blocks. Josh Giddey's out here shooting 33% from 3, 45% from the field, and dishing out 4.5 assists, 6 rebounds, and 11 points. And people dish on Josh Giddey so hard, but he's like actually like pretty important. Like their best lineup, which is Josh Giddey, Chet, Lou Dort, J. Will, Shea, is +5 on point differential and is one of the, I know it's not like, it's like a pretty darn good in terms of, it's their most common lineup they play, and it's middle of the pack in terms of like defense and point differential, but their effective field goal percentage and their turnover rate is in the like, the top quarter of percentiles in the league. Same thing with their defensive, ratings. So I just think that's a lineup that people need to realize that, damn, it's got some real good wiggle to it. And the other thing is they're one of their best offensive and defensive lineups, which is Cassam Wallace, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, J-Dub, Josh Giddey, and Chet Holmgren. All of the C stats are according to Cleaning the Glass. Is literally a top 10 offense and defense plus 21 point differential, and Josh is in it. So I'm all for it. I mean, they primarily play, their main lineup is that Shea, Josh, and Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, and that's probably what they're going to play in the playoffs with, Isaiah Joe and Cassam Wallace being the guys that they rotate in there with. I guess Kenrich Williams is kind of like their backup center with J. Will also playing. Small ball 5 is Kenrich. J. Will is their actual big when they need a backup. And they have Bismack Biyombo now, so. But that's the other thing is when you look at Biyombo, who I think when they actually start to play him and he starts to be a guy who can be a part of the rotation, I think it's not going to really be a thing. I think he's a break the glass when you go against Jokic, but it's more he's there if you need him. And also the lineups that they played with Gordon Hayward so far, Cassam Wallace, J. Will, Aaron Wiggins, Gordon Hayward, and Chet Holmgren, that one is not necessarily as, they have not been great. The best lineup with Gordon's been in the Chet, Kenrich, Wiggins, Hayward, and J-Dub at point has been the best Gordon Hayward lineup right now. So there's that. But it's very interesting to see that like they've basically been playing. If you guys want to see, I'll show you guys on the board right now. The lineup that these are their top 5 lineups that they played this season. You're about to see it on the screen right now. And if you look at it, they're just straight up just saying this is going to be what we run in the playoffs. We're going to live and die by this group, which I mean is what you want to do, but those are their guys, which is pretty wild to think about. They're just going ahead and live or die by the sword right here in terms of the players that they want to use. So I think it makes sense in my opinion, but let me hear you guys' thoughts down below. It's going to basically be it for me. It's up a little video, but yeah, that's it. We're waiting until the 6-minute marker. I'm a peace out. Bye.